Hey, what's up guys? Chris here, back in another video. So today I want to compare the Fujifilm X-S10 with the Sony ZV-E10. Now over here I do not have the X-S10, folks. I actually have the Fujifilm X-T4. However, the X-S10 and the Fujifilm X-T4 share the same processor, same sensor, and you obviously can downgrade the footage. So I mean, you can obviously shoot 10-bit video on the 4K, on this camera, 4K 60, all that stuff. I do have it set up right now at 4K 30, 100 megabits per second. So basically the same thing that you could get out of this camera over here, the Sony ZV-E10. And I also have it set up so it is all standard picture profile over here, 4K 30 frames per second. Shutter speed is 1/125th, f4, and 640 ISO. Same thing over here on the Sony ZV-E10. I got 1/125th of a second, f4, and ISO 640. So what is the difference between these two cameras? Well, let's go with the lenses. We'll start with lenses first, right? Let's go with lenses because I think that's going to be you know, buying the camera is going to be great. Either one of these cameras is going to be a great option, right? But you're going to probably be looking at a potential of a lens upgrade path. Now, if you look at the Sony the X-S10 lineup, they have a complete lineup of high quality lenses. They have a complete XF lineup of everything you could ever want, really. I really can't see a weak spot other than the fact that, for instance, if you're going to use this camera as a content creator camera, you're going to want something wide, right? Potentially a wide angle lens, right? So what are the options? Right now, there aren't many. Now, the cheapest option, you could go with the older 10-24, which is a great lens, stabilized, all that good stuff. But it also, like $750 right now. You can get the newer version as $1,000. So I mean, options are not cheap when it comes to cheaper lenses. There's a 16mm f2.8. Again, that's probably about as narrow as you're gonna wanna go. That's about $400. You probably pick it up used for like 300, maybe something like that, 350, 325, somewhere in there if you can find it. But it's not stabilized or anything like that. But there's not really a lot of options. Like Sigma doesn't make any lenses for them. Tamron is starting, but they're starting out with this 18-300, which is gonna be a great option, honestly. It's gonna be a great option. I wish it was like a 16-300, but it is what it is. But it's the only lens in its kind of category, really, that's considered, you know, wide at one end and, you know, extreme telephoto. So you're looking at a 27-450 millimeter lens. That's a pretty much do everything lens. Master of no trades, but, you know, jack of all trades. Over here on the Sony system, I did a whole video just recently about, you know, all the lenses that are options that you could get for something like a wide angle lens. So, I mean, if you want to compare dedicated, you know, APS-C lenses, I think the Fuji system probably wins if money is no object. But over here, if you know, you've got all access to all the full frame lenses as well. You know, third-party lenses. Sigma makes some beautiful lenses. You know, Tamron makes great lenses. You know, Samyang makes some really amazing lenses as well. So I mean, you've got a lot of options over here on this side to kind of upgrade this camera in the future. And to be honest with you, going with like full frame lenses might be a nice upgrade path for something in the future. If content creation or, you know, camera lenses in general are something you're going to want to use for a long period of time, you know, buying like a full frame lens, buying like the, you know, 16-35 f2.8 G master lens, yeah, it's $2,000, but you could use it on this camera, and then in the future, maybe you're going to want to upgrade to a full frame camera, and now you're all ready to go. You already got a perfect lens for it. Over here on the X-T4, or X-S10, Tamron is in the process of updating a lot of their lenses right now. So I mean, the lens options are going to be getting better and better and better. But again, this is considered a professional crop sensor camera, in my opinion, whereas the ZV-E10 I don't believe is. It's a you know, an amateur. You know, it's a hobbyist. It's a, you look at the lens lineup over in the X-T4, and you can tell clearly that this is for professional use. You know, you've got that 8-16, the f2.8. It's like a $1,900 lens, beautiful lens, heavy, but it's a beautiful lens. So the options are a little bit more professional when it comes to the Fuji system than it is over here for dedicated APS-C, folks. Dedicated APS-C. Obviously, again, you can give the G Master lenses, so there it is. Autofocus system. Sony's autofocus system is on another level. Hands down, it is on another level. Fuji's autofocus system is lacking. Now, I have the X-T4, and it has the same autofocus system in it as the X-S10, X-E4. They have the same processor and same sensor, right? I also shoot with a Panasonic S5, and both of these camera systems generally are considered to be not great for autofocus. However, the Panasonic S5 that I use is far superior to this X-T4. It really is, in my opinion. It is no, hands down, no doubt about it. It is superior to the X-T4. I don't think you can complain about that. So, you know, if autofocus is important to you, you're going to want to go with this Sony camera. Plain and simple, because Sony just does autofocus right. And then, you know, you've got the, sorry about this, I have no light. My light is here and the camera's back there. But you have this product showcase, which is a really cool feature, in my opinion. A really, really cool feature, the product showcase. You know, especially if you're doing, you know, studio type work like this. That's a really great option. Really, I think when it comes to these two cameras, it's gonna come down to two things. Size. The great thing about the Sony ZV-E10 compared to the Fujifilm X-S10 is you're starting off over here in the X-S10 with a larger camera. So there's no way to make it smaller, in my opinion, right? So if you're wanting something more versatile, you're gonna go with the the ZV-E10, because the ZV-E10, yes, it comes in a very small form factor to start with, but you could put a larger lens on there. You could put a cage on this thing. Small Rig just came out yesterday and announced, or a couple days ago, according to this video when you guys see it, they announced a new cage for the system, right? So they announced this new cage, and it's gonna have a nice like rubber thicker grip on it, and it's gonna make the camera a little bit more comfortable to hold. It's gonna make the camera a lot bigger if you wanted to make it bigger. So you've got the option to kind of, I think it's like 50 bucks or something like that. 55 bucks or something like that. I think it's on sale right now for like 42. So if you pre-order it, it's gonna be like $42. And then I think regular price is like 50 something. So the Sony ZV-E10 is going to be a better option for that. Like if you wanna be able to just take this thing hiking like what I use it for, you can break it down to its smallest form with a kit lens, and it is like, you won't even know that it's there, right? But if you want to build it up a little bit and make it a little bit more heavy, you know, a lot of times a heavier camera is going to be a little bit better for stabilization, as well as kind of balancing onto a gimbal of sort. So the ZV-E10 I think is a lot more versatile, where the X-S10 is probably a little bit more professional looking right from the start. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the price, because over here you've got the ZV-E10 out of the box, you're ready to go for 800 bucks. You buy, you know, a $50 SD card or $40, $30 SD card. You're set, you're ready to go, right? Over here, you know, body alone is $1,000, right? So, I mean, you're looking at $200 already above the ZV-E10, and you don't have a lens yet. So I think the lens combination is like $1,350 from what I understand for this 16 to 80 kit lens. Great option, but again, it's, you know, it's almost twice as expensive, the X-S10. But I think these are logical like comparisons. People are looking to think, well, do I want the X-S10 or this ZV-E10? So I think, in my opinion, when it comes to like price alone, I don't think you can beat the ZV-E10. And yeah, I think it's hands down, I think it's a better camera. Personally, my personal opinion. I do like Fuji's cameras. The Fuji cameras are amazing. They do a lot of great things. You know, this X-T4 is an amazing camera. It's, you know, 10-bit video, it's 4K 60, it's pretty much everything you want in a camera system. For me personally, I don't look at the X-S10 system or the Fuji XF system and say, this meets all my requirements, because the lens system to me, while it is a complete lens lineup, nothing appeals directly to me. I like the 16 to 80, that's a really great lens. I would like the 10 to 24, but I look at the price, I'm like $1,000 for that lens. I'm like, that one's a little bit, especially because over here, you know, that 11 to 22 is or 11 to 20 Tamron lens is an f2.8, and it is only $830. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. And over here, I mean, there's just not really an option for a wide angle lens unless you really want to spend a ton of money, and I don't. You know, when it comes to most people that are looking into these two systems, don't really want to spend a ton of money, you know, because especially if you're starting out on YouTube in 2021, you know, who knows? I mean, you may never do anything. You may never even get monetized. You may never make your money back. Something to think about, folks. Something to think about. I do recommend the ZV-E10 over the X-S10 personally, and I think that most of the other people out there are probably going to do the same thing. But you check the image quality here, look at it yourself, see what the autofocus system is, you know, and then we'll go from there. So let me know in the comments what you guys like, and I hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.